Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. نحمده ونصلي على سيدنا رسول الكريم والاستخلاف ليس بمفسد حتى يجوز في حق القارئ وإنما الفساد ضرورة حكم الشرعي وعدم صلاحية الإمامة. What I answering in that, we need to go one step back. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Remember we told you that when the Imam does an action which takes him out of salah, we say khuruj salat bisun'ihi. He do a action purposely to take himself out of salah, right? Then we'll say salat is complete, according to as Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala. Like I told you, you broke loud. Okay, we're going to come to that. Yeah. The majma, correct. The majma, the qawm is so the imam finished the show and after the show he intentionally broke his wudu, he intentionally released gas or whatever. So then his salat will be done and the qawm salat, technically speaking, will also be done, right? So here now, the masla we're doing is this here. So what he done is he his wudu broke unintentionally, right? His wudu broke unintentionally. And after his wudu broke unintentionally, he put a ummi as the imam. He put a ummi as the imam, a person that doesn't know how to read the Quran. So what we see here is that his salat will not be done. His salat will not be done, and the qawm salat will not be done. Why? Because ma kharaja bisun'ihi. Ma kharaja min as-salati bisun'ihi. He never come out of the salat with an action from his side, right? That's what we said. So they're saying, look here, technically speaking, salat supposed to be done. Because why? He put a ummi as the imam. So he intentionally broke the salat. So because he intentionally broke the salat, he kharaja bisun'ihi. You understand what I'm saying? Kharaja bisun'ihi. He came out with an action from his side. Kharaja bisun'ihi. So because he came out of the salat with an action from his side, the salat supposed to be done. You understand what I'm saying? Because he intentionally put a person. So we're gonna answer that no. We still insist and say no, the salat is not done. Why the salat is not done? Because we say, look here, that act of putting a ummi as as the imam, that act in itself isn't a mufsid salat. Like how when you break wind or you speak or you have janabat, that is a mufsid salat, which has become was intentional because you had a mufsid salat that took place intentionally. It broke the salat. Are you with me? You had a mufsid salat that broke the salat intentionally. So this is not a mufsid. It wasn't intentional breaking of salat, but rather it was something which is against shariat. That's what he's saying. So it wasn't an intentional mufsid. It wasn't an intentional khuruj an salat bi sun'ihi. It wasn't an intentional khuruj an salat bi sun'ihi. It wasn't an intentional khuruj an salat bi sun'ihi. It was just there because he done something which is contrary to shariat, and that is to put an ummi as the imam. Are you with me? So see there. والإستخلاف ليس بمفسد. يعني استخلاف is not mufsid. It is not خرج بالصلاة بصنعه, right? Why we say it is not mufsid? Why? See, حتى يجوز في حق القارئ. Isn't that if he to put a qari, a person that could read salah as the imam, it wouldn't impact on the salah? That shows you that it's not mufsid. وإنما الفساد ضرورة حكم شرعي. That so you say, okay, then if he done nothing wrong, right? He never, okay, if you say he didn't come out of the salat through his own act, then why do we say the salah breaks? We say the salah breaks because he done something which was against Sharia. Salah breaks because he done something which was against Sharia. وَإِنَّمَا الْفَسَادُ, the fasad was ضَرُورَةُ حُكْمٍ شَرْعِيٍّ. It was out of necessity of a Shari'i law. And what was the Shari'i law? وَهُوَ عَدَمُ صَلَاحِيَتِهِ الْإِمَامَةَ. That this person who he put there, he was not qualified to be the imam. So you understood that? You sure you understood it? I hope the online people understood it. So we're saying I'll just recap it again briefly. What they're saying there is that if somebody says that the salah is supposed to be done because kharaja min as-salati bi sun'ihi, he came out of salah with an act which took him out of salah. We say no, that this act of making istikhlaf in itself isn't something that takes you out of salat. You can make, if you make istikhlaf of another qari, that doesn't take you out of salah. So istikhlaf intrinsically isn't something that takes you out of salat. Istikhlaf intrinsically isn't something that takes you out of salat. But then if you answer the question, but okay, if you say that this doesn't take you out of salah, why do we say then that the salat is broken? We say the salat is broken is because he went against another law of Shariah. And so, yes, the salah is broken not because of khuruj bisonihi, but rather salat is batil, or it is broken, or it is nullified because he went against the law of the Shariah. And the Shariah was that in the presence of a qari, he's not allowed to put a ummi as a imam. Are you with me? Yeah. When we say he appointed a ummi, means a person who doesn't know how to read any Quran at all. He appointed a person who doesn't know how to read any Quran at all. Okay, read the next ibarat. I hope that's clear, inshallah. Read the next ibarat. Right, see. وَمَنِ اقْتَدَى بِالْإِمَامِ بَعْدَمَا صَلَّى رَكْعَةً. The Imam already, so a masbook came. What happened? A masbook came, right? The Imam already started the salah, right? So the Imam completed one rakat already. What happened? The Imam completed one rakat already, and then somebody came to join the Imam. You follow? So وَمَنِ اقْتَدَى بِالْإِمَامِ, whoever followed the Imam, بَعْدَمَا صَلَّى رَكْعَةً, after the Imam read one rakat, right? فَأَحْدَثَ الْإِمَامُ, and then the Imam's wudu broke, right? Unintentionally, obviously, because if you broke it intentionally, you can't make istikhlaf, right? فَأَحْدَثَ الْإِمَامُ فَقَدَّمَهُ, then he took this masbook and he made this masbook the naib Imam. What he done? Right. فَقَدَّمَهُ أَجْزَأَهُ لِوُجُودِ الْمُشَارَكَةِ فِي التَّحْرِيمَةِ. We will say that the imamat of the masbook is valid, even though he's masbook. So the imamat of the masbook is valid, even though he's a masbook. Why? Because they are partners in the same salah, even though he's late. Right? Are you with me? Are you with me there? Right. So أجزأه, it will suffice him لوجود المشاركة في التحريمة, because of them being partners in the tahrima. But والأولى للإمام أن يقدم مدركا, but it was better for the Imam that he put a person who was there from the very beginning as his naib. He shouldn't put a masbook, a person who came late. Why? لأنه أقدر على إتمام الصلاة, because it is it's uncomplicated for him. If a person was a mudrik, all he do is he just complete the salah and make salam and finish up, right? Now this person masbook, what must he do? It's more complicated. When the salat of the qawm is finished, he will put another person and make another istikhlaf, and the mustakhlaf will make salam for the qawm, and he will stand up as a masbook and he will complete his salah. It's more complicated. You understand what I'm saying? وَيَنْبَغِي لِهَذَا الْمَسْبُوقِ. So also it was appropriate that when the Imam calls the masbook forward, come, you complete the salam, by the wudu is broken. وَيَنْبَغِي لِهَذَا الْمَسْبُوقِ أَلَّا يَتَقَدَّمَ لِإِجْزِهِ عَنِ التَّسْلِيمِ, that he shouldn't have gone forward. أَلَّا يَتَقَدَّمَ لِإِجْزِهِ or لِأَجْزِهِ عَنِ التَّسْلِيمِ, because he can't make salam. He cannot make the final salam. Why? Because you only make the final salam when you finish your salah. You only make the final salam when you finish salah. So yeah, he shouldn't go forward. He shouldn't go forward. Why? Because although it will be valid, the salat will be done, but he's complicating the matter a little bit. He is complicating the matter a little bit. Are you with me? So, فَلَوْ تَقَدَّمَ. But if this masbook went, the Imam did call the masbook forward, and he went forward. فَلَوْ تَقَدَّمَ يَبْتَدِئُ مِنْ حَيْثُ انتهى إِلَيْهِ الْإِمَامِ لِقِيَامِهِ مَقَامَهُ. So he won't worry where he is in the salat. He won't pay attention that I'm in my second rakat, or I'm in my third rakat, or I'm in my first rakat. He will just continue and flow with the salat of the Imam. If the Imam was in the second rakat, he will make complete the second rakat, do the third rakat, do the fourth rakat. Are you with me? Understood what I'm saying? So فَلَوْ تَقَدَّمَ, so this book, he shouldn't be going forward. But if he did go forward, يَبْتَدِئُ مِنْ حَيْثُ انتهى إِلَيْهِ الْإِمَامُ, right? He will start from there where the Imam is finished, right? يَبْتَدِئُ مِنْ حَيْثُ انتهى الْإِمَامُ لِقِيَامِهِ مَقَامَهُ, because now he is fulfilling he's filling the shoes of the Imam. So since he's filling the shoes of the Imam, he's standing in the shoes of the Imam, he must continue from where the Imam stopped, right? Is that clear, online people? I hope that's clear also. وَإِذَا انْتَهَى إِلَى السَّلَامِ. But now when he comes, he completes the salat of the Imam. The Imam is supposed to make salam, but he will make salam. Why? Because his salah is not finished yet. He's still got one or two rakats left that he needs to do, right? وَإِذَا انْتَهَى إِلَى السَّلَامِ. When he comes to the salam, يُقَدِّمُ مُدْرِكًا يُسَلِّمُ بِهِمْ. يُقَدِّمُ, he will put forward mudrikan, what? Another person that was there from the beginning of the salah, يُقَدِّمُ مُدْرِكًا يُسَلِّمُ بِهِمْ, that will make salam with them. Are you with me? فَلَوْ أَنَّهُ حِينَ أَتَمَّ صَلَاةَ الْإِمَامِ. Now, so you see, it's complicated. First, he must read the salat till the end. Then he must bring a mudrik to make the salam, etc. Now, so now we're switching to a different scenario. فَلَوْ أَنَّ حِينَ أَتَمَّ صَلَاةَ الْإِمَامِ. Say he completed the salat of the Imam. The Imam had one rakat left, or the Imam had two rakats left, and he completed it one rakat, and he completed the two rakats of the Imam. فَلَوْ أَنَّهُ حِينَ أَتَمَّ صَلَاةَ الْإِمَامِ. He completed the salat of the Imam, and then قَهْقَهَ. Now we know to laugh aloud in salat breaks the salah. أو أحدث متعمدا, or he broke his wudu intentionally. Now normally, if you remember what according to Imam Hanifa, إذا خرج من الصلاة بسنئه فقد تم صلاته. So here, he laughed out loud, قهقه, أو أحدث متعمدا, or he broke his wudu intentionally, أو تكلم, he spoke. So all these are خروج عن الصلاة, Yusuf. All these are خروج عن الصلاة بسنئه. أو تكلم أو خرج من المسجد, or he came out of the masjid, فسدت صلاته, his salat will become fasid. Why? Because his salat is not complete. He still got one rakat left. He got two rakats left. Are you with me? He got one rakat left. He got two rakats left. But وَصَلَاةُ الْقَوْمِ تَامَّةٌ. But the salat of the qawm is complete. Why? Because they finished their salat, and also they قَدْ خَرَجَ مِنَ الصَّلَاةِ بِسُنَّةِ الْإِمَامِ. They came out of the salat with an intentional action from the Imam. You understood that? وَصَلَاةُ الْقَوْمِ تَامَّةٌ. Why? لأن المفسد في حقه وجد خلال الصلاة. With regards to him, the break of salat was found in the middle of his salat. And we told you that only when the salat is complete, and then he came out with an intentional action, so we won't punish him and say, read the whole salah, because he has already come to the end of the race. So we just say, go ahead and complete the salah. You understand what I'm saying? لأن المفسد في حقه, because of the corrupter في حقه, with regards to him, وجد في يقعد خلال وخلال. وجد في خلال الصلاة. So with regards to him, it's as though he broke his wudu intentionally, or he spoke intentionally in the middle of salah. And we know when you speak intentionally or you break your wudu intentionally in the middle of salah, what will be the law? The law is that there is no bina, so you have to repeat his salah. But them, the qawm, the musallin, etc., etc., they've reached the end of the salah, and also قَدْ خَرَجُوا بِسُنْءِ الْإِمَامِ. they've come out with an intentional act from the Imam, so their salah will be done. You understood? But right, وَفِي حَقِّهِمْ, right? And with regard to the qawm, بَعْدَ تَمَامِ أَرْكَانِهَا, they've come out of the salat after the arkan has been completed. You understand what I'm saying? Right. وَالْإِمَامُ الْأَوَّلُ, so that there you know this. That's some. Now we're moving to another aspect. وَالْإِمَامُ الْأَوَّلُ إِنْ كَانَ فَرَغَ لَا تَفْسُدْ صَلَاتُ. Remember, his wudu broke, so he went to go make a fresh wudu. So if by the time this naib imam or this mustakhlif imam, whatever, if by the time he laughed or if by the time he spoke, right? Well, Imam al-Awwal, in kana faragha, if he finished his salah also at that time, he covered up the mist and right, la tafsudu salatuhu, his salat will be intact. But if he never complete his salah, now the whole salat has been corrupted and he hasn't completed as yet. So his salat will also be corrupted. So he'll have to redo his salah. You understand what I'm saying? Because his salat has been corrupted by the naib iman. Are you with me? وَإِلَّمْ يَفْرُهْ, if he hasn't completed, tafsud, his salat will become fasid, will asah, and this is correct. Is that clear? Okay, read the next ibarat. Right. فَإِن لَمْ يُحْدِثِ الْإِمَامُ الْأَوَّلُ. So we're going to a different scenario now, right? So we're saying the first imam, this is now separate. We can say, so to say, it's a new scenario. فَإِن لَمْ يُحْدِثِ الْإِمَامُ الْأَوَّلُ. The first imam, he said the amount of tashahud, right? And he never make hadath. وَقَعَدَ قَدْرَ التَّشَهُدِ, and he said the amount of tashahud. ثُمَّ قَهْقَهَ, then he laughed out aloud. And you know, when you laugh out aloud, your wudu break. And you can say this is khuruj bisun'ihi, right? ثُمَّ قَهْقَهَ أَوْ أَحْدَثَ مُتَعَمِّدًا, or he broke his wudu intentionally. أو أحدث متعمدا فسدت صلاة الذي لم يدرك أول صلاته. The masbook salat will become fasid. The imam salat will be done. Why? Because kharaja bisun'ihi. And like you asked the question earlier, that the qawm, the majma', their salat will be done because kharaja bisun'ihi. Right, there you got your answer. So fasadat, but the person who came late, the person who missed one rakat, his salat will become corrupted. Why? Because the khuruj bisun'ihi has been found in the middle of his salah. And khuruj bisun'ihi only benefits those persons who've completed the entire salah. You understand what I'm saying? So, فسد صلاة الذي لم يدرك أول صلاة in Abi Hanifata وقال لا تفسد. Sahih say no, even though his salat is not complete, his salat will not become batil. وقال لا تفسد. Right. Because maybe they're saying that what the Imam is doing won't impact upon the Muqtadi Salam. وإن تكلم أو خرج من المسجد لم تفسد في قولهم جميعا. وإن تكلم, if the Imam spoke, right? أو خرج من المسجد, or he came out of the masjid, لم تفسد في قولهم جميعا. Then they're saying, yeah, the salat of the Muqtadi, the Masbuq, right? Right. So who? The Imam spoke intentionally. Who spoke intentionally? The Imam spoke intentionally. أو خرج من المسجد, or the Imam just abandoned the salat and he came out to the masjid. لم تفسد في قولهم جميعا. The salat will not become batil according to both Imam Abu Hanifa and Sahibain. Carry on. Yeah, see, they say لهما أن صلاة المقتدي بناء على صلاة الإمام جوازا وفسادا. See, we always look at the salat of the Imam. If the salat of the Imam is 100% correct, then the Muqtadi salat will be 100% correct. So yeah, the Imam, he laughed or he spoke after his salat was complete. He laughed or he spoke after his salat was complete. So that means it shouldn't impact upon the Muqtadi salah, the Masbuk salah. The Masbuk must just go ahead and complete his salat. You understood that? They're saying, that's what they're saying there. So, لهما أن صلاة المقتدي بناء على صلاة الإمام جوازا فسادا ولم تفسد صلاة الإمام. So the salat of the Imam did not become fasid. فكذا صلاته. So like that, the salat of the Mazbuk, who hasn't completed it yet, his salat should not become fasid also, right? فكذا صلاته وسار كالسلام والكلام. So it is like how you're reading salat behind the Imam, and the Imam just made a salam, or he spoke, then you as a masbook, you go on and complete your salat, right? So that was Sahibain's proof. Imam Sahib says no. The Muqtari masbook salah will also become fasid. Let's look at the reasoning. Right. Yeah. So what I say, Imam Sahib says, Imam Hanifa says, see, the moment the Imam laughed, or the moment the Imam spoke, then that part of his salat becomes null and void. And for the Imam, it was fine for his salat to become null and void. For the Imam, it was fine for his salat to become null and void. But for the Muqtadi, it wasn't, because he's still in the middle of his salah. So when the Imam salat become null and void, automatically the Muqtadi salah also become null and void. See, وله for Imam Sahib أن القهقهة, the laughing, مفسدة للجزء الذي يلاقيه, it corrupts the portion of the salat which is closest to him, من صلاة الإمام, from the salat of the Imam, فيفسد مثله من صلاة المقتدي. So it will also corrupt that part of the salat of the muqtadi. But غير أن الإمام لا يحتاج الإمام إلى البناء. But remember, the Imam salat is complete. The Imam salat is complete. So you don't have to make any bina. وَالْمَسْبُوقُ مُحْتَاجٌ إِلَيْهِ. But now, like I told you, remember we say the Imam is the engine. When the engine stuck, then the whole train stuck. So yeah, when the Imam salat became corrupted, the Muqtadi salat became corrupted. But because the Imam finished his salat already, that corruption doesn't affect him. But it affects the Mazbuk, right? وَالْمَسْبُوقُ مُحْتَاجٌ إِلَيْهِ وَالْبِنَاءُ الْفَاسِدِ فَاسِدٌ. And for the Muqtadi to carry on and make bina, he can't make bina upon something which is fasid, because here, one is when you break your wudu unintentionally. But here the Imam Sahib he broke his salat intentionally. Right? بخلاف الصلاة salam. But contrary way, the Imam made salam. Why? Because they لأنه منهن والكلام في معناه. Because, okay, let's stop there. We'll continue from there. Time is up. So we'll do from there. لأنه منهن والكلام في معناه. We'll do from there. I hope it's clear, inshallah. بس سبحان الله.